Let satsang remove the confusion of all. Welcome. Came to me an image, limited, since it is an image. Still I may express it. If you see a fire, you mean a lot of things when you say a fire. The painter will recognize immediately, no, the spectator will recognize immediately on a painting, oh, that's a fire which is represented. So there is a shape. And yet the canvas, the paper, is not burnt. Similarly, when one says, I am a human being, it is the symbolical form of something else. Which cannot be touched, cannot be described. But the shape, the description can be shown and can have different forms. I mean to say, we always attribute something too much when one speaks of I. That's why it is suggested, if you want to abide in what is already there and always there, just for a moment, don't put any quality, form, name on I. Then you will see that you always refer, the world, the entire planet refers to that, admitting that it doesn't go alone, it always goes with an expression, a manifestation in form and names. First of all, one cannot speak of fire if it doesn't mention what is seen also. I say that because again and again, everywhere I observe that what is indicated regarding the liberation, the knowing of one true self, is made too complicated. One thing has to be understood or seen clearly or experienced for a certain moment, that actually I first is alone and then comes everything else. And here I say I alone or the self, it is the same. So the goal of self-investigation is not to attain any experience, nor to keep any as real, even though it is unavoidable to get a few experiences. And Papaji was very sharp in telling, don't land anywhere. Don't think that anything which has an object and a subject is real. Reality will not be realized in this subject-object relation. An object goes as far as sublime experiences. It's just a sublime object. It's hot in this country. So, and I will tell, in other words, why I see that the essential, rather than to have, maybe I repeat, unavoidable experiences on the way, on this journey, it is essential to spot, it's an experience, I know it, so it's not it. It's to spot what is the mind, including emotions and senses. Because having been in some other parts than Alfambras, I am struck to see that people have glimpses, means they have a bath in the self. But they all somehow lose it or come out of it because of one thought taken for real. So it has not been enough expressed or heard that one thought rising after, let's say, emptiness, even if it is the thought, what's real is emptiness, I am emptiness, is a thought too much. But you cannot control thoughts. It is the expression of the self. But what you can see is to know, now to know, because you hear it and you trust, I am not going there. So the flow of thoughts can continue, but it lost its so-called reality. And that removes the confusion. That is freedom. That's all. And if it is not all for you, try not to keep anything. And if you cannot alone, ask me.
Ganga.
Yeah? I see you, yeah.
I is vigilant, or I am vigilant, or I don't go into thinking regarding the subject.
Yes, what a luck.
Still I.
Still?
I.
But I is good?
Is it?
I said in the beginning, you can say I alone or the self. You see? There is nothing wrong with I. The proof is that everybody says I in all the languages. This is universal. All the rest changes.
My problem is that
You speak a slowly.
my problem
Yeah.
is I is not alone.
Ah,
I am
yes.
vigilant.
Yes.
I am still.
When you say I am vigilant, means I'm vigilant not to go with thought or an emotion.
It's a constant.
Okay, and why don't you call it awareness?
I don't dare.
You don't dare, you know why? Because you identify with someone vigilant. But you could drop that and just say without pride, what I am is awareness, that's what I can see that. So be vigilant. If you still have the fear to risk to go somewhere, be vigilant. You see, that itself will disappear. And here there's some temperament. There is a story in India. You can see the glass empty or full when it's half of it. Doesn't matter. It's so priceless that don't try to measure the time of efforts. And I'm sure when you are vigilant, you have a moment of absolutely nothing there, because you keep quiet then. At some point, give more emphasis to keep quiet. Don't go with a thought. It's to keep quiet. Huh? So give, even if it is a second to that, give that second. It may grow up to whatever. At least, do you feel you still search? Or you know so well the direction that you don't really search, you are just vigilant.
I could say that, yes.
Beautiful. If you didn't comment. Because it's to go there, huh? To comment. You know, it's amazing. There was this weekend someone, and I tell it because many live that, having done a lot of self-investigation or meditation, he was going always to the same in the end. Nothing happens. He was getting bored. Boredom. Yes. And when I showed him that it was just an experience, a thought rising, why to give more reality to this one than another, he was struck. He could not believe that it was also an experience or a thought, because the identification was so strong. So that's what I say. it's good to expose. You may be very surprised to just be blind on something so obvious. Mm?
Ganga.
Yeah. Hi.
Since I've been coming, I remember you saying to me it's important to be clear about what the I is, what the mind is. And whereas I think that I understand more what the mind and what the I is,
Yeah.
it's still just an understanding. It's not it's not in my gut. You know,
Okay.
I feel like it's not. I haven't seen the I
Yeah.
for what it is.
You will not see it. You see, if you see that you understand more and more, where do you go? In quietness or in agitation?
I see the agitation.
No. When you understand more what it is not, because it's about that, the understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You have a moment, where do you go? Because this understanding is not outside. The understanding is inside, is towards the source of the creation.
Mm-hmm.
So give a moment of quietness after each understanding, because it is in that direction, you see, that is where is the reality. Normally we don't need understanding, it's because we took ourselves for and something too much. So it looks like a kind of dépouiller, emptying the I. But emptying the I is a big relief. There is a moment of quietness towards the source.
Yeah, the direction doesn't seem so clear to me at the minute.
Okay, what did you understand the latest? You understand what I tell you?
Just now?
Except the direction. Something you understood. And then you ask a question. Because it's not clear that you see the real I or yourself. That's what you say?
Yeah, it's not. I wasn't. The I.
Yeah, but the I, you speak of that as if it was an object. You are the self.
Yeah.
Or or the I without attribute.
Yeah, I talk of the mind,
Yeah.
as in which
Okay.
I see as an object.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And where is the subject? Is it possible that the mind is floating by itself alone? Then it would be taken by this one, by this one. The mind is your mind.
Yeah, this is the confusion, I think. Is,
But you have to see, you see. When you wake up, it is you who wake up with your world. And everything is because I feel, and it is your world. Your personal life is a continuity of jumping from concept to emotion to senses, to dream, to waking up, to sleep. And I is common to all of that.
yeah.
Why so we are so fascinated by states and experiences? I is always there. The self is always there.
Yeah, I think there's an expectation that
Then the mind speaks, because only mind has time in it. And when you are in time, you can expect, because there is a so-called future. So it must be wrong. The expectation and the object of expectation must be a fantasy of the mind, because the mind doesn't reach, it disappears going back there. Or it disappears in the substratum that you are first. So know that this expectation is a thought. Don't go there. Don't give a single reality of what it speaks or of what it suggests you. Because you are it now. If you listen to the mind, it will be tomorrow. This is the thing. And don't expect to experience it, otherwise you make it an experience. And it's because you make everything an experience that you are searching since long.
I think what's interesting for me of late is that because the mind has been so busy,
Yeah.
so first year at Satsang has been very very beautiful and a bit of a honeymoon.
Yes. And now it's...
And now I describe it as the gloves are
the
off.
divorce is...
There's the things coming up.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the emphasis of satsang has changed from this beautiful thing that I do, and now it's become more of a like a necessity and urgency.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, the self is attracting you, seducing you, and then it's too late. Otherwise, you would never come this way. So go for it, be quick, then you will suffer less. And you can be extremely quick if you don't listen to the time, means the mind.
So, just say that to me again. So tell me to be quick. I don't catch it.
No, you can. It's so quick that you cannot catch it. It's already done. And know when you listen to the mind, it's about all this creation of the self, of you, who you are. It will never be about who you are. Never! Yeah, that you see clearly. You had a moment where it's clear. So you can stay there. And when the mind comes, no, it's the creation, the manifestation. Maybe beautiful, maybe not. I'm not it. It will never speak about the substratum, what you are.
And is this how to take satsang out of satsang in your life?
Yeah.
So just purely that?
Yeah. That is satsang. But you see, you have to develop an extreme attraction for it. Often it is out of irrational devotion, or you are so clear that it's the only way to be safe in this burning world.
You see, the attraction it isn't clear. I know I'm attracted to this.
Okay, but is it clear that if you don't take that direction expressed in satsang, you are in the world without satsang? You can like it?
It seems the direction is only apparent to me when I engage with you.
Is only what?
Is only clear to me.
Yeah, apparent, yeah.
When
Okay.
when I do this with you.
Okay, it will be so much stronger because you don't need to reject me when you leave this place.
Can you explain?
If you push me, if I'm only outside of you, then of course when you leave and I'm not there. Mm-hmm. But when I say I say the direction, you see? But if you have the direction in your heart, there is no geography in the heart. And satsang, real satsang is in the heart. So live outside as your circumstances are. You react, you act, but your heart is not placed in circumstances. And you bring your heart wherever you are. It's a new life from today. And nobody will know except you. But of course, satsang helps. Satsang is a help to give strength, to remind that it is such a luck, such a grace, such a luck, what can I say? To know that there is something like freeing oneself, and it was that I always searched. And I found where one speaks about that, I found even the way where not to go. If I don't know exactly still the direction, at least you know the direction where not to go. You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that, I know where not to go.
Yeah. Okay.
So
good.
is it like by default, if I'm not
going.
in that direction.
Yeah,
then
where are you? And if you tell me any location, you go into a thought. But you have not to go into a thought. So where you are left, without any qualification, that's what you are.
And that's the simplicity.
That's
That's
what?
the simplicity of
You can call it simplicity. It's always there. But it's simple if you compare with what the mind would suggest you and does suggest you. Sure. You have not to put your head down, you have not to make a strong diet, you have not to repeat necessarily mantras, you have not to do anything, because you already are it. But what if you are not yet convinced as a fact? Then don't go into movements of your mind, of your emotions. And dedicate a minute a day is already fantastic. And if you are in love, you will dedicate maybe 2 minutes.
when you say to me, I am that, I believe it. When I say it,
The I who says is the same as the I who doesn't believe. It's just that I am that, you see. It's not objective. But I don't believe it's already an object. You see, I having a mind, how can I believe that? Because it doesn't even know of what we speak about, because it disappears there. So of course you will say, I don't know, I don't believe, I don't catch it. Is right? Is right? So it is another voice that we have to hear. We have not to hear that movement of the mind. We have not to hear that voice. But dedicate a minute a day to that. We cannot dedicate 24 hours. But a fiery dedication of 1 minute is much better than a long, sleepy, boring meditation. Or even sublime. Hmm?
Ganga,
Yeah.
what I experience for these days is a lot of strong emotions and fear rising up, and I trying to going back. Very simple to just stop, but it was not the same like with you.
Also,
Yeah.
okay, I know why. Because I have the natural authority of what I say, because I cannot say something else. And you don't have this natural authority because you still search for it. You still make effort not to be taken by what is illusion. Actually, illusion is when you take yourself for someone. Then everything is an illusion. If you take yourself for what you are, there is no two realities. So that's why there is no more question of, oh, I'm identified, I'm not identified. Those questions don't arise because it's not true. So you have to shape, you have to, through your necessity, inner necessity to free yourself, you have to create that solid background to go there and not somewhere else. But as I say, you cannot have this fire all the time. Life continues, but dedicate a moment for this. And then you may be colored by it for a while, and that, you see, that will be more alive than wisdom. But surely the company of satsang for a period of time is essential. I cannot say something else because my experience was this way. But I'm not the only one to tell that. Because many abroad ask me, do we need? Yeah, we need. We need. Even to be a carpenter, we need to study. What about this? I mean, we need help.
This is what I see.
Yeah, this is what you see. This is why you live here. You could have been in some other places, I guess. So you do well. Not try to remove the gap between satsang. So don't worry. You are in the train. As Ramana Maharishi said, when you have to search which train to take because you don't know yet your destination. Once you know your destination, you trust. Somebody says this is the train to take. You trust. You go in. Then you are just driven.
Yeah,
But if you jump out of the window, you have again to try to see. So I don't know.
Yes, but I need to ask.
Yeah.
What I need to do.
Nothing. You are in the train. You know which train you took. It is called Koham. It's not Madras or Bombay. It's Koham, the destination. Qui suis-je in Sanskrit? Koham train. High class. don't you think that in the tradition, and we are not in tradition, in the tradition, the 12 years of, for example, the sweeper of the monastery of the master, don't you think that sometimes he may have a doubt, I wonder what I'm doing here. But he stays because he knows these are doubts. These are thoughts which boycotts his extreme fire which made him come here. Hmm?
Yeah, I know this.
Yeah. That's good. That's enough. It will work then.
So, Ganga, I would like to know more about Solid background.
Yes.
And first, I don't really understand.
Yeah, it's maybe a strange way to speak. I mean by that, okay, you come to satsang. It means there is there something that you carry, even though it may be emptiness, that you learned or experienced in satsang, or through satsang. It may not be necessarily an experience in satsang, but it can be out of official satsang. Yes? So, there is a voice there. It reminds you, the solid background is that the voice of the wisdom, la sagesse of what you are, that you may not trust yet, but still you come to satsang. So actually you want more to hear that voice than the voice of your mind, isn't it? So that voice has to have some space to be heard. And that space is created, when I don't go into the movement of the mind, is to be reminded nearly automatically, nearly spontaneously. Whatever, even if you are lost in your mind, let's say for 10 hours, but that suddenly you are, something wakes you up, reminds you. That is the solid background because it's the voice of wisdom. The voice because you asked help. So it speaks in your language.
It always comes back. So.
You are lucky.
Yeah.
So you have a solid background. I tell you. So that at least you know what it is. It's not like the voice of your mind. So love more that voice because you know, it will free me from the tyranny of my mind. Because that voice doesn't bind you, it frees you. Yeah.
So when I say I want to burn the step.
To burn.
The step.
The steps. There is no steps, there was never any step.
Yeah, it's the mind, so again.
Yeah, because there was never a step.
Yeah.
There was never.
Yeah, but it's always the same.
Yeah.
Always waiting.
But it's always the same that a thought comes to tell you something and you hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so now wake up.
Be patient. Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah.
You just wake up through the solid background. Why you have not seen that to speak of steps was your mind, a thought? How come?
No, I see, I know. Just,
And why you still enjoy that? Huh?
Be sure.
To be sure, no. That boycotts.
I want to hear from you, you know.
Okay, yeah, I tell you.
Yeah, because sometimes we can think, I can think, it's again the mind playing
Yeah.
in a way or another.
Do
Because
you?
sometimes it's completely difficult, not difficult, but confusing, you know.
Yeah, but then you are reminded at some point.
Yeah.
even coming to satsang is because you love to be reminded.
Yeah, that's right.
So your love is much more towards what you are than towards what the fantasy of this creation.
Yeah, it's always the same question coming back.
Which one? Tell me.
Why it does not happen now?
Because you listen. Because you listen to why it doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't listen to that? Now I want to see. You look good. It was difficult not to listen to that?
I know. It's the best place.
Then why don't you go again and again if necessary, or you just are there?
So this is the solid background.
This is it.
Yeah.
Chai. Chai, chai. You are in the train. Chai. Or better to say you arrived, don't worry. Don't take again a train.
Yeah, because I don't want to just sitting.
You sit?
I mean,
really you sit?
no.
Oh.
I mean, like a fish and nothing, everything is the same.
You see, you expressed one sentence and already you are
Boom.
caught like, I
Yeah.
sit, I sit, my body sits like a fish. Oh la la, it's far away from human being. Good luck, huh? If you go back to the evolution, you have to go back to human again. Oh la la. Woo! In what, 2 minutes? No, not even. The day you could say to me, I see you sitting, I don't sit, and you are really strong enough so that I should keep quiet. That would be very good.
Ganga?
Yeah.
For me also, when since I'm on the train.
When did you take the train?
I can't remember.
But
No.
you took many trains, so
Yes.
okay.
I
one
took many
train
trains,
now.
but since I decided to live here,
Okay.
I learn more that when I listen to the mind again.
Yes.
Like this Sunday, that would have been satsang, but this Sunday there was no satsang, and so I totally listened to the mind. But then,
when there is no satsang, you have to listen to the mind. What a strange... yeah.
yes, but I see this urgency that I really need it. I need it, otherwise I forget that through Gopal.
Yeah.
He reminded me.
Good company.
It was so good.
It's very important.
Yes.
Good company.
And she said, I know you listen to the mind. And I said, oh God, yeah, you're right. And now it's, you know, I have this condition with the sounds,
Yes.
and that I get very strong body reactions through certain sounds. And it never happened in satsang. But today it happened. That there was a, I don't know, machine or motor, I don't know, something. And I was sitting here that, like, having the strong reactions, and then I see with this, I don't know how to deal with. When it's more mental or emotionally, I can remind myself, hey, this is not. But when this body going through this whole thing, then I don't know how to.
But you
to do.
see it is the body, no?
Yes.
You see it, so you are not the body, huh? If you see it, you describe well. If you see it, are you what you see?
No.
So stay there for a while, even though there is a lot of going on. Stay there. It's just always the same direction, you see. Or the same removal of the carpet.
It doesn't matter if it's mental or body.
No,
or
it is the same, of course.
Seems to me more difficult.
Of course, I agree. I agree. Some are more emotional, some more physical, some more conceptual, and that will be more for them. But it's applied, it's the same for anything. Anything. The first sentence in satsang is, I am not the body, I am not the mind. Which for a mind who has never heard that or experienced something else is like a total strange, very surprising sentence. Isn't it? But then with satsang, with the company of satsang, one goes there till one day, yes, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, even though I, as a body-mind, may feel this strongly, intensely, or weakly, but it is concerning the body-mind, those experiences. What I am is not the body-mind. I am the ever reality, which, regardless of states of the mind and the body. You see this body, if you ever saw someone leaving the body, they say, no? Dying. It's an envelope. It's an envelope. By itself, it has no life. So that which animates, that is unchanged by events or circumstances. It is what is born as necessarily a span of life or death. But that is lifeless. It has a life. When it has a life, this mystery, I don't go there, but When it is the expression, it's the expression of the self, of what you are.
And the mind belongs to the body.
It is a complex. It's together. They know it in yoga. That's why they work a lot on pranayama, because it's linked with postures and the breathing and the state of mind according to the breathing, which can go to contemplation also. It's all is the same, but one is more concrete than the other, material. Yeah, it goes together. You can read your newspaper.
Ganga,
Mm-hmm.
when doing self-investigation, I always
Stop.
stop with the sense of I or I amness or
Okay.
and
Then keep quiet there. Keep quiet there rather than to bring I am something, some emotion.
because separation comes and a lot of symptoms.
I am, and then you go, I am separated. That's
Yeah.
too much. Keep quiet for a while in I am. Because I is not much fed with am. But if you say I am separated, it's already too late. It's already dinner time.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. Just maybe I expect. Okay, then.
Keep quiet in I am. Since you know I am, keep quiet there. I want to see how long it can stay I am then. Without jumping on the next thought. What? Yes, there is something.
Yeah, there is an effort to stay.
An effort. You feel bound or you don't feel bound?
I feel bound.
So make an effort to feel free. I mean, then what? An effort. If you're fired, you don't care for efforts. You have to do it. Whatever price it asks you. A small effort. That's why it is said, you need fire. Otherwise what? Of course, if you, for one thought, you cannot take it and you find it a tremendous effort, means the fire is too less. You have to do. You don't care about efforts. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought effort is a thought again, therefore I told, not because I don't want to do.
I understand. But I tell you, keep quiet in I am. Even if it is with efforts. Without, with efforts, tremendous effort, catching the other thought. I wonder where you will sleep. You have not to do the work, I tell you. Okay? Trust that. Tremendous effort. I am not going there. Okay, of course. But then you want freedom or not? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then do what I say with tremendous effort if you think so. And it's only in the thought that all these things happens, because you are already it. So the tremendous effort, yes, is to try to wake up. This is the only quality, you see, because that quality, the five of freedom, will bring you the guide you need for that. And the fire burns the difficulties and efforts. So it's the only quality to have. And this fire, by the company, or you have it from the first, or it is even more fiery, by the company of satsang, of the scriptures speaks of that, and of your own self-investigation. Huh? You see, it was like if I would have said at the time, there was a period of time where we were eating only potatoes. Of course, it was a big effort to eat a potato after a few meals. A big effort. But there was nothing else. But not for that one doesn't care. It's because he's in the right company. And whatever goes along with is swallowed. So you need fire, not to stop at the potato. No, but really. It's alive, you see, those stories of student and master. It's not only in the books. So behave like that. Why you are inspired and you love the stories of the books? It happens now. You understand?